Hey guys, coldbrew here. Welcome back to another raid video. Today, I have the privilege of testing out Chronicler Adelyn, a champion we will all be getting as part of the 14-day chase that we have for Raid Shadow Legends. This is a perfect opportunity for you guys to test out the game. You haven't already, so there will be a link down below to click on it and download the game. You will get another free champion for free, Tyrell, and also once you reach level 25 you'll get another free champion, Rector Drath, alongside of course Chronicler Adelyn, where on the 7 days we will all get her plus some extra gear during days 1 to 6 that will be useful for her or any other champions you might have by that time. But Chronicler Adelyn definitely can use the gear that we'll be getting for free. And then as part of the remaining 7 days for the 14-day period of phase 1, you will be getting some extra stuff, with more importantly, on day 14, getting a 2-star perfect soul for Chronicler Adelyn, which you can use at a later part in the game. I'll explain all the details about that, go over her kit, and show you guys on how she works. Phase 2 will start after day 14, and phase 2 is where things can get more interesting because there's a lot of things that you can acquire, but doing things that we all do as a normal part of our Raid Shadow Legends experience, such as farming the campaign, farming the dungeons, faction wars, fighting in the arena versus other players, and doing the clan boss, which is part of the clan, one of the daily clan activities that gives a ton of rewards that are very useful for your raid journey. And once you complete all of these tasks that you will have 21 days to do so, you will be able to finish off Chronicler Adelyn's 5-star soul using the split souls that you will be acquiring, which is very important. You have to get 1,050 total points for this one. You are able to get maximum 75 chase points per day. You need to get at least 50 per day to ensure that you get all the rewards in the 21 days. So if you get the 75, you'll be more than covered to get the full rewards. If you get 75 times the 21 days, you won't get anything extra, but it just ensures that you get the rewards. And it should be very easy to complete everything because it's stuff that we do every single day. So as long as you do them, you will have your goals right there to see, and you should be able to pick it up. So let's go into the game. I'm on the test server right now, guys, so I do have access to her, and also showing you how the loyalty program works. And as part of that, also I wanted to make this guide more beginner friendly. We're gonna go over Chronicler Adelyn specifically only for the video, not other champions. And the way that I will be showcasing her is how you will have her once you, let's say, are at day 7. Okay, you'll be able to level her up slowly and get her to level 60. But what is more important is actually utilizing her skills, even though you might not at that point have the legendary books to fully skill her up. So that's why I have not skilled her up for this part of the video. And on the second part of the video, I will skill her up just to show a little bit on the difference on that. And also I will provide some masteries on her. First things first though, let's cover her artifacts. Artifacts that I am using on her is the artifacts that we'll all be getting as part of the day 1 to day 6. It's going to be perception gear, which provides accuracy and speed. Accuracy and speed are 2 very important stats, not just for Adelyn, but also for any hero, any champion in the game that can apply a debuff, a negative effect on enemies. And that in turn provides you the added support that you need, in the sense of if you apply a decreased attack debuff, then you are able to receive less damage from the enemies. And that is one of the many examples of debuffs that we have in the game, and we have the opposite, which is called buffs in the game as well. You have this screen right here with all the buffs and debuffs and explanations, which you can go through very slowly and learn everything you want to about Adelyn. Okay, so her first skill provides a single target attack that can also have a 50% chance to transfer 1 random debuff from this champion to the target. Also 50% chance of stealing 1 random buff from the target. This can be very useful in situations where you're fighting enemies that have buffs on them, or fighting enemies that apply debuffs onto yourself. You need accuracy for this to work, so the perception gear fits perfectly for this situation. Then we have her A2, which is a great skill for the Fire Knight dungeon, and also can be very useful for the Sand Devil dungeon, where you get your HP destroyed by the bosses, okay? Also, the heal is pretty significant. If you think about it, it's 25% of this champion's max health. So as an example, I've built her with about 86,000 health with the gear that I have, focusing mostly on speed. You can see here the speed stats up on the top, and also HP percent wherever I can, HP percent primary on the gloves, HP percent primary on the chest piece, and speed on the boots. That is the primary way of building supports. Speed, health, and defense is nice to have, but specifically for Adelyn, health is more impactful since that benefits the heal that she does to the whole team. And then we also have a good amount of accuracy on her. Accuracy, you won't need at the very start of the game to have so much accuracy that I have, and you will not have the affinity bonuses that I have as an example, but it will be a very useful part later on. And as part of her kit, in order to apply the debuffs, you'll need enough accuracy depending on the content that you're doing. So a big heal coming through with the A2. With the A3, okay, you can apply the third skill. That's how we call it in the game. You can apply a sleep debuff on a single target without having to attack the target. When you don't attack a target, then the weak affinity and strong affinity, which is part of the game, doesn't matter. So you just apply the sleep debuff, and you can apply decrease speed and decrease attack also on the target. That is very, very strong to have, and part of the skills that you might want to be using in the future in the game. It's a single target, so you have to think wisely if you're manually playing the game on who you will be sleeping, because you have to ensure that you do not attack that target, because they will wake up from the sleep. But the decrease speed and decrease attack are very important debuffs to have, especially for dungeons such as the Spider and the Fire Knight, where those debuffs can be applied. Decrease attack can be applied on all bosses in the game, and that is very good in order to survive, especially for Ice Golem, I would say, and Fire Knight, and of course the guild boss, okay, the clan boss. And finally, her passive: allies deal 3% more damage to targets under a debuff placed by this champion, by Adelyn. So Adelyn can place 3 debuffs on an enemy with this skill. So sleep, decrease speed, decrease attack. That in turn equals to 9% more damage. If you have some way to transfer like a debuff that you receive to an enemy, that's already like a 3% extra damage that you will be dealing. So it's a nice added bonus in order to get your damage higher without actually having the gear, right? Finally, her aura increases ally accuracy in all battles. Pretty much, if you're just starting out the game, just having Adelyn be in the leader slot will ensure that you do not need crazy amounts of accuracy for a long time in this game. About 200 accuracy is the maximum that you will need for a long time in the game, until you get about to the mid game, where things become a little bit more interesting, a little bit more difficult. So with that in mind, once you understand that you can get some accuracy through the aura and then a little bit of accuracy through the gear, you don't need to over equip your champions with accuracy. You can use other sets such as the lifesteal set, which is very useful instead of multiple accuracy sets on your champion. So a lifesteal set is very useful for just giving you health back when you attack. In terms of the masteries on her, I wouldn't go crazy about going for masteries just yet when you get her. It's good to have masteries on all your champions. It benefits them. But remember, since Adelyn does not have any attacks other than her A1 skill, her default attack, going offensive route doesn't really benefit her. For example, War Master is okay, but will not be a crazy way for her to do damage. It will not add much to what she does already. What I would say is that Chronicler Adelyn would benefit a lot from timely intervention. That is when allies drop below 25% health. She does have a heal. So if an ally drops to by a significant amount in terms of his health, you need Adelyn to be the one coming in, trying to restore that health back to full. And the way that I would go with Masteries would probably be, if you don't need the accuracy, you don't have to go for the accuracy here. It's a good thing to have, especially for the Sand Devil dungeon. So you can go that way. And then if you really want extra healing, you have to go for this one. So you would have to start with Steadfast. But for me, I would prefer to have more accuracy for the later parts of the game. Go down this route in terms of extra accuracy. Possibly use Cycle of Magic so you can get your skills with a small percentage chance to reset them. And then you can also go for this one, which is Arcane Celerity. You get some turn meter back when a debuff expires. That is pretty useful. You can also use this Evil Eye to basically benefit you from attacking a target, and by your attack decreasing the turn meter by 20% the first time you attack them, that is. Or you boost up your stats using Lore of Steel, and that affects the perception set that we all get for free. But for now, I will be using Evil Eye. I find that more strategic for many situations. In terms of the remaining, masteries, you can go Spirit Haste. I would say it's fine. Master Hexer is also okay. And then again, it really depends on how you see your strategies. You can use Oppressor. It doesn't apply that many debuffs, so Oppressor won't be that useful. Eagle Eye is when you need extreme amounts of accuracy. And then finally, Timely Intervention, if you think that healing from Chronicler Adelyn, even at the 3-turn cooldown when fully booked, is needed. Okay, if you don't need that, then you might want to go for the support route and maybe even get Bulwark as a way to mitigate damage, since you'll be building Adelyn in a more tanky way. So you'll be going defensive, more healing, extra healing wherever you can, going down this way, extra turn meter when an ally gets hit, and then let's say Bulwark as an example. So this can be an example mastery page that you can use for, well, any content in the game. But if you are going to be using her on the clan boss, I would say maybe even War Master is nice if you will be building her with the lifesteal set. So that's in terms of her gearing. I will be exploring more options a little bit later with the 5-star soul, just to give you guys an idea of how useful that is going to be. The souls you'll only be able to use after level 42 when the Altar of Souls unlocks. So the Altar of Souls unlocks at level 42. It becomes interesting because this provides a lot of stats and boosts to a champion, not only through stats, but also through a skill that they unlock just because they have an awakening. And then the awakenings, you can choose specifically on which one would benefit the most on your champion. But I'll cover that after I show you guys the initial showcase of Chronicler Adelyn. So let's jump into the Dragon Slayer. I want to give an example here with a 4-person rare team. These are all champions that you can acquire for free in the game using mystery shards, and War Maiden can even be farmed from the campaign. Plus Chronicler Adelyn on the leader slot, which I've explained how accuracy that she has benefits everyone right here to get to the stats that we need. Always, guys, remember, use speed boots if you want to, and try to equip everybody with stats that benefit their skill set. So accuracy when it's needed, and then damage when you're building up a damage dealer. So Adelyn is ready to go. Everybody is just trying to do their part, but Adelyn is just applying her skills when required. So if I get hit, Adelyn will go in there with the big heal. So look at that, we're getting hit. She transferred over that debuff, I believe. Then there we go. The passive is just right there, giving us extra damage. So if I put this on manual, you'll see I have my A2 skill still because I haven't used it. I don't need to use it when everybody is full health. So her A3 skill can be used when it's off cooldown on a target that you find the most threatening if you're using her on manual play. But after a while, you'll be used to playing the game on auto mode, especially if you find the synergy between the champions that you'll be doing. So look at that, the sleep, speed, and decreased attack. But remember, enemies will be awoken from sleep when, oh, are we gonna die there? Okay, no, Apothecary came in there clutch with the heal, so I have like a double healer team right here, plus Adelyn there doing some work. I would definitely not build Adelyn as a damage dealer since her only attack is through her default skill. So once we reach the boss, we'll actually see Adelyn's real power, and that is through the reflect that she can do with her A1 skill. I know it's 50% chance, I haven't booked her yet, but that will be important. First things first though, we will be using the Rate of Slip, the A3 skill. Remember, the 3rd skill. This will not apply decreased speed. You cannot apply that on bosses. Well, all dragons in the game, you cannot apply that. Sleep, you cannot sleep most of the bosses in the game except for the Sand Devil boss. And decreased attack, you can apply. So hopefully here we will apply it. There we go. And that already helps us significantly to reduce the damage that we'll take as part of this team. So it's a good addition to what we do against this boss. So now we'll start getting hit. And what this boss does when it hits us, look at this. Places 2 5% poison debuffs for 3 turns. Places a weaken debuff for 2 turns. So we have already on the boss, so you cannot place 2 of them. But we will be able, with Adelyn, to transfer, hopefully transfer, it's a 50% chance, the debuffs that we receive onto the boss with a default skill. So I'm waiting for the boss to hit me. There we go. Look at all those debuffs. It's nice that I'll be able to transfer something back. And let's see, Adelyn. Now I could have healed, but I think I don't need to heal just yet. I'm gonna use the A1. We couldn't transfer the debuff there. We're just gonna apply some poisons. Let's put this back on auto and see the team in action for the remaining part of this one. There we go. There's the A1. She applied the poison that she had. That's pretty cool. Her next turn, there we go, with a big heal, 22,000 health is that she healed. And the heals that you can do also benefit from skill books and masteries if you really want to have her benefit from those. So far, she's looking great as part of this ensemble of champions. Of course, Kale and Aethel is very unlikely you'll have both of them together. They are the starters that we can choose from, so I thought I might as well put them in this team. And then Apothecary is a very strong rare that we can get from a mystery shard, and War Maiden, a champion we can get from a campaign farm. So okay, so once you're level 42, you'll be able to unlock the soul for Adelyn. Okay, have that in mind though. Have that in mind on how. Right, let's give her the 5-star soul. Boom. There we go. I strongly believe that Brimstone is the way to go with her once you complete the whole thing. So it's 14 days. Then depending on how quickly you get your remaining points, you'll be able to get the Brimstone blessing. This is significantly the best one to do because this one will be a protected debuff on the 5-star. What protected debuff means is that it cannot be dispelled by the enemy, and that brings so much more than having it on a 3-star as an example. So provide the Brimstone blessing on her, and once we did that, let's just look at all the stats that she gets. 8.5 thousand more health, 750 attack, 600 more defense, 75 more resistance, 75 more accuracy. That is huge, guys. Huge for this part of the game. Considering you can get this quick, it will add a lot more to the team. And what a 5-star blessing can do, just to give you guys an idea of how powerful that can be as part of your team, is to just put in this team in here, and we'll go into the clown boss battle, and you'll see that Adelyn will be applying that debuff when she attacks the boss. So when she attacks them with an attack, not with this skill, I don't think this will apply the smite. So it didn't even apply the decreased attack because that's not 100% just yet. So when we get an attack, it will have a 60% chance of it applying the smite. We didn't apply it just yet. Let's put this on auto. We'll see it on the top there once it is applied. So there we go. Okay, there we go. The smite's on the boss. And once the boss takes a turn though, you will see on how much damage that does just because of smite. All right, boom. You'll see the big rocks falling down. That's 250,000 damage guaranteed on every time the boss uses a skill because of that 5-star blessing. So that is a huge damage boost that you can get. So the longer your team survives, the boss will be using that skill more and more, benefiting. We are all benefiting from the Brimstone proc, from the smite blessing, and it's just added damage. It's just huge for this part of the game, and that works on all enemies and bosses. So it's a significant boost to Adelyn and her damage as part of this one. So how would she change when you skill her up? Of course, I could show this, but getting the legendary skill books will be a part of your raid experience. And I would say as her being a supports in my eyes, okay, let's find her. Supports in my eyes don't always have the priority in skill books. That is why as part of this video, I didn't fully skill her up. Okay, I wouldn't give supports the priority of skill books because it is important to understand that sometimes damage dealers are more important, or champions that have more unique skills that are only unlocked with a fully skilled up set. So for example, when you get 100% chance to do something like a block debuffs buff, that is more important than, let's say, having this skill being at 75% or this skill being at a 3-turn cooldown. So having that in mind, guys, this was the video, a more beginner friendly guide on Chronicler Adelyn, the brand new daily login champion that we have for the 14-day chase coming into Raid Shadow Legends. This will be, I think, a cool champion to have, especially because they added the soul part. I think the souls really give an extra you know, punch to the champion in terms of what it can do. You don't have to go with Brimstone, as I showed in the video. Any other blessing could work, but I think Brimstone is the most important, so that's why I wanted to show it as part of the final bit in the video. Thank you all for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, guys. Download the link down from the description of the video and the comments of the video. You will be able to get Tyrell, an epic champion, for free, and also Rector Draft once you reach level 25. Thank you all, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.